just trying to get up that great big hill of hope.
Few names in American entertainment history carry the same weight, warmth, and unmistakable presence as Dolly Parton. For decades, she has existed in a space where myth and reality blend almost seamlessly. Her image, big hair, sparkling outfits, and a voice that feels both tender and unbreakable, has become instantly recognizable across generations. But every so often, a new wave of fascination emerges online and in documentaries. Rare and never-before-seen photographs supposedly revealing hidden layers of her life. Some are genuine archival discoveries. Others are misunderstood snapshots from forgotten moments. And some exist only in the imagination of fans and storytellers who try to fill in the gaps of a long, extraordinary career. This script takes a cinematic look at those images, real or rumored, and the stories people attach to them. Not as confirmed secrets, but as a journey through the public memory of a woman who has always been larger than the frame she appears in. Long before the stage lights, before the sequins, and before the world knew her name, there were simple photographs. Grainy, black-and-white images of a young girl growing up in rural Tennessee. These early photos, often resurfacing in retrospectives, show a very different world. A wooden house on a hillside. Family gatherings where music wasn't a performance, but a way of life. A child standing barefoot in fields, smiling with a kind of innocence that never quite disappears, even after fame arrives. In these rare early images, observers often point out something striking. Even without glamour, there is presence. Not celebrity presence, but something quieter, almost determined. As if the camera already knew she would not remain unknown for long. These photographs have become symbolic. Not because they reveal scandal or hidden truth, but because they remind viewers that icons begin as ordinary people shaped by extraordinary persistence. As she moved into her teenage years and early adulthood, the photos change. Local stage performances. Early television appearances. Promotional images from small music events in Nashville. These are the pictures that fans now call rare finds, not because they are secret, but because they capture transition. The moment when a young performer is still between identities. Not yet a global star, but no longer unknown. In some of these images, she appears hesitant in posture but confident in expression. Stage lighting reflects off costumes that are far simpler than the iconic looks she would later become famous for. Yet even in these early promotional photos, there is a clear visual strategy forming: color, sparkle, and individuality. Photographers who later worked in the country music industry often describe her as camera-aware, meaning she instinctively understood how to turn a simple frame into something memorable. These early visual records form the foundation of what would become one of the most photographed careers in modern music. When success finally arrived, it didn't do so quietly. Album covers, television appearances, award shows, and concert tours turned her life into a continuous stream of images. In this era, rare photos often refer to behind-the-scenes moments, snapshots taken between performances. Adjusting a microphone. Laughing with band members. Sitting backstage in quiet reflection before walking into roaring crowds. These images show something that polished promotional photos often hide: exhaustion, humor, and humanity. One particularly famous set of candid backstage photos shows her resting between performances, still in full stage outfit, looking away from the camera as if briefly detached from the spectacle she is part of. Fans often interpret these moments as evidence of a dual life, the public persona and the private individual existing side by side, never fully merging. But rather than revealing scandal, these images reveal endurance. The cost of constant performance. The discipline behind the sparkle. As her fame expanded, so did public curiosity. And with curiosity came speculation. Over the years, various rare photo leaks or unseen images have circulated online, suggesting connections with different figures in the entertainment world. Some claim romantic involvement with musicians. Others suggest secret meetings with industry executives or influential personalities. One frequently repeated rumor involves a well-known rock figure from the late 20th century. Fans point to supposed backstage photos of the two standing together at award shows, interpreting body language, glances, and timing as evidence of a deeper connection. However, most of these interpretations come from assumption rather than verified documentation. The entertainment industry is filled with shared events, collaborative performances, and casual interactions that are later reimagined as hidden narratives. In reality, many of these images are simply what they appear to be: two artists sharing the same professional space at the peak of their careers. Yet the myth persists, because audiences often see what they expect to see. By the 1990s, media culture had changed dramatically. Tabloids, television commentary, and early internet forums began analyzing celebrity lives in unprecedented detail. During this period, even ordinary photographs could become fuel for controversy. A smile interpreted as sarcasm. A red carpet pause interpreted as tension. A backstage interaction interpreted as conflict. In this environment, Dolly's public image was often discussed alongside that of other country music stars. Occasionally, indirect comments in interviews sparked speculation about rivalry or generational shifts in the industry. But when revisiting the actual photographs from this era, what stands out is not conflict, but professionalism. Group photos at award ceremonies show industry peers standing together, smiling for the camera despite whatever narratives were being constructed around them. The gap between visual evidence and media storytelling became increasingly clear. One of the most persistent rumor cycles involves alleged connections with wealthy entertainment figures linked to Las Vegas. Over the years, certain unreleased or private collection photos have been claimed to show her attending high-profile events or private gatherings. However, most verified images from this period simply show public appearances, concert residencies, charity events, and industry celebrations. Las Vegas, as a hub of entertainment, naturally brings together artists, producers, and business figures in shared spaces. Photographs taken at such events often lack context, which allows speculation to grow unchecked. Some narratives suggested financial arrangements or exclusive deals, but no credible visual or documentary evidence supports these claims. Instead, what the authenticated photo archives show is a working artist engaging with a major entertainment city as part of her professional career. The mystery exists more in interpretation than in reality. Among the most meaningful, never-before-seen images are not tied to fame or rumor, but to philanthropy. Photographs from literacy programs, hospital visits, and charity concerts show a very different atmosphere. No stage lighting. No audience spectacle. Just human interaction. In these images, she is often seen speaking directly to children, signing books, or standing in modest venues focused on community work. These moments are less photographed, not because they are secret, but because they are quieter. Yet they reveal perhaps the most consistent aspect of her public life: commitment to service beyond entertainment. Unlike staged performances, these photographs feel unposed. And that is why they resonate so strongly when they resurface online. They feel real in a different way than celebrity images usually do. In the internet era, the phrase never-before-seen photo has taken on a new meaning. Often, it simply refers to an old image rediscovered and reposted without context. Social media platforms frequently circulate edited or mislabeled photos of celebrities, and Dolly Parton is no exception. Some images are cropped to remove context. Others are enhanced or altered. A few are even mistakenly attributed to her entirely. Despite this, these images continue to generate engagement, commentary, and storytelling. People build narratives around them, sometimes romantic, sometimes dramatic, sometimes completely fictional. What is fascinating is not the accuracy of these images, but their cultural function. They become modern folklore, visual myths that evolve as they are shared. Across decades, public reaction to these photos and stories has remained divided. One group focuses on authenticity, separating verified archives from speculation. Another group embraces the mystery, treating every image as a potential hidden clue to a larger story. Fans often project meaning onto photographs because they feel emotionally connected to the subject. When someone's career spans generations, people begin to feel like they know them, even when they only know curated moments. This is why rare photos hold such power. They appear to offer access beyond the public persona, even when they don't actually reveal anything new. In Dolly's case, this effect is amplified by her long-standing consistency. A public image so stable that even small variations feel significant. When all speculation is stripped away, what remains is a remarkably documented life. Thousands of verified photographs, interviews, performances, and appearances form a clear historical record. The rare and unseen label often says more about audience curiosity than about actual secrecy. Most of the time, The so-called hidden photos are simply lesser-known moments from an extensively photographed career. There is no need to search for mystery where the reality is already rich. The documented story of a performer who built a global career from humble beginnings is already extraordinary without added fiction. Looking across decades of images, a pattern emerges. Whether posed in studio portraits, captured mid-performance, or photographed in candid moments, there is continuity. Expression, energy, presence. That consistency is what turns photographs into legacy. Not because they reveal secrets, but because they preserve identity across time. And that is why the fascination continues. New generations discover old images, label them rare, and attach new meanings to them. The cycle repeats, not because the story changes, but because the audience does. In the end, rare and never-before-seen photos of Dolly Parton are less about hidden truths and more about lasting fascination. They are reflections of how the public sees fame itself, always searching for what lies behind the curtain, even when the curtain has already been drawn open many times. And perhaps that is the real story.